Okay, hello everyone. Guess what time it is? It's not Lego time. This is actually a piece of clone Lego, technically. This is from a company called Oxford. They're actually based in Korea, although despite what the label says, it says made in Korea in the bottom, it doesn't tell you which Korea. But this is the military grade stuff. That is, it's not meant for military use, it's just meant to make military figures with. It's all basically similar colours, and it was actually on reduction as well, although as you can probably tell, the price tag is basically covering the label. But you can easily tell from the contents, from the actual pictures that you can see there, what the contents is. It's all clearly military stuff. I'm just a little confused at the fact that it's a company from Korea, which Korea I don't know, that it's calling itself Oxford. Somebody must have really liked the name and thought it would probably sell well. But you've got a tank, you've got a plane, you've got this jeep thing here, you've got the cannon just off to the right there. And the thing is, there's a good range of motion in all of these items. The tank swivels and turns and points its cannon at everything. The jet's canopy opens, the doors in the jeep opens, and you've got stuff to do with the cannon as well, which I can't really recall right now, at least as far as the pictures are concerned anyhow. Yeah, you got this guy with a red flag right there, and that's a bit confusing. Why do you need to confirm that there's a red flag? Why can't people tell that there's a dangerous situation just because of the military vehicles alone? Maybe they just had the spare piece and they just felt that they had to make it blatantly obvious that there was some danger here. But that said, you only get the two figures here. Pilot, and a pilot, and God knows what that other guy is. Anyhow, let's go and open this up and see what is inside. Let's lift up the lid. That to one side. Oh, hang on, wait a sec. Yeah, can sort of feel the rush of air every time I move that up and down. Obviously, I'm having to re-record the audio here because unfortunately the original audio was crap. But every time I lifted the lid up and down and sort of moved it to side like that, I just kept hearing the rush of air. Very odd, very, very odd. There must just be air stuck in there, but it does feel from the design of the lid as if though it's supposed to be some sort of interlocking system. I gave that a bit of a try out, and it doesn't really work that well, to be honest. It's a nice little token gesture, but that's just it. It's just a rather poorly done gesture on their part. But here you have the actual instructions and all the different bags. They're all nicely numbered as well, so you can tell exactly what's supposed to go where. But instructions, for some bizarre reason, do feel just a bit worn in that one corner, as if though somebody has already read through them and been making notes by saving their place and saving their place on every single page, all at the same time. But yeah, everything is nicely numbered, so you're not going to mix things up by accident too easily, unless you don't know what numbers look like. I'm not going to go and bother counting how many bags are, how many bags have the same number. It's all clearly numbered and clearly set up to be saved there. Well, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to jump cut, and we're back. And as you can see, I've put all of them together, and I'm just going to go over a few of the different items one by one. First of all, I think let's take a look at the pilot here. Yes, that's right, this fellow with the guns is the pilot, and that's not really a pilot's outfit that I recognise. Not unless he's hijacked a plane and gone off on a joyride. The guns are just put on there for show. One thing I don't like is the visor. It's rather fragile. It feels like it'll come off unless you're very, very, very ginger with it, which is a shame. Onto the ground crew person. Looks more like a traditional soldier, sort of semi-World War II flavour helmet. The rocket launcher that he's got there was two halves that he put together, and the sniper rifle looks the part. Obviously, you wouldn't carry two parts there. There's no rear faces on either of these. The pliers here are a bit ridiculous. Whereas everything else fits the hand perfectly, these don't fit at all, which is a bit of a complete shame. The rest of the materials here, they all look quite nice. You've got this little red flag here, red flag for danger. Obviously war is a dangerous situation, so they must have to warn people about it. And of course here we've got the Jeep and the little cannon. Obviously they go together. They're from different bags, so they're technically different sets, but they go together very nicely because they're designed to. And I assume that's just sort of, these little spreading bits here are supposed to absorb the impact of something, but I do find it's actually better, it looks more aesthetically pleasing to me to have those sort of out like that rather than out to the sides. And you've got a good bit of distance, you know, it can move up and down quite nicely. The Jeep looks the part quite nicely. It's very thoroughly put together, it's very solid, it looks the part perfectly. The only real problems I have is the underneath, which you can't see at the moment, but it does look a bit bland there. The bonnet here, or the hood, whatever you might want to call it, it does have a few scratches on, and that's true of a few parts in this particular piece. So there must have been something gone wrong in transit or something, or during the production process. But it does look in general quite good. It sort of adds more character to the vehicle, as if though it has literally been through the walls. And you can see right there and there, those two little triangular pieces, they've got little indentations in them. Not sure if that's intended or not, but there you go. Here we have all 360 degrees rotation of the tank's turret. It's not exactly a traditional tank, but you do have this one structural weakness here, see? It pops off quite easily. You've got to be very careful when you try to manoeuvre that upwards. You've got to literally hold it down there, so get a finger down on that, or a thumb down on that, and pull it up gently. If you're not gentle with it, you know, even if you want to try to put it like that for some sort of transport purpose, and I don't see any reason why anybody wouldn't carry it like that, why would not want to transport it like that. If you're not careful with how you're actually trying to move it around, it'll just snap off. Which is realistic for war damage, I suppose, but that's about it. But it does get a bit frustration, I suppose. Another piece along the top probably would have held that in place quite nicely. And you've got little utility racks on the side here, so here I am trying to put the sniper rifle in, and it's a nice idea, but it doesn't really work that well. You know, there are, you know, problems there. Its weight though does allow it to roll on this quite smooth surface. That is my table quite well. It doesn't work so well for the Jeep though, because that's a lot lighter, which is unfortunate, but I guess a reality of the builds. Finally, onto the Jet. I am quite happy with this. This really looks the part, and obviously with the stickers on it would look even more the part. Bit bland on the underneath, but let's face it, how often are you going to be looking at the undercarriage? Not that often. Unlike the tank, the canopy here opens quite well, very free moving, and even a little joystick. It's a canopy that really impresses after the disaster that was the tank's turret. And if you take the pilot and remove the weapons that he doesn't really need and try to fit them in quite nicely, you do have to allow for the fact that the arms have to go up a bit first of all, and you have to lie them back a bit just to sort of fit in. Once you've actually got him in though, he fits like a dream. It is a perfect fit in all regards, and you know, it really does sell things nicely. The only thing I would do is just that they had, say, 1 or 2 more figures with this set, because you've got 4 pieces of equipment. You know, having one person to drive the tank, one person to fly the plane, one person to drive the Jeep, and another person to be sort of, say, the cannon operator. Okay, would have worked quite nicely. You know, one person as a guard, one person as a sniper. There's all kinds of possibilities there, which seems to be a bit lost. Like I said before, I'm a bit disappointed with some aspects of the set. The tank, for example, the turret is terrible. The Jeep is probably my second favourite after, of course, the Jet. The cannon is absolutely perfect for its role, and I can't really think of any other ways to improve it. Maybe some more variety in the colour of the bricks, for example, that might help a little bit. I don't see it really making that much difference, but all in all, I like what I see very, very much. Now that brings me on to the instruction cell. In general, okay, as you can see, I've just held my position here with this little bit. This is where all the weapons came attached to, and as a little tip, if you want to have some sort of debris, you can just cut this up with scissors, throw it all over the place, and they have debris all scattered about. But The only problem I have with the instructions are two things basically. One, the drawings don't include the little indented brick that they have on certain different sections every now and then, as you can see on the jet. I'm guessing the artist just could not be asked to draw them, and to be quite frank, I don't blame them. But you know, you look at them, they're not there. It doesn't really take anything away there. But the only other thing that I don't like with the way the set records information, although the instructions don't record information, they just give you the back numbers. They don't tell you in advance what it is you're going to be building. So you've got a back number there, and no indication as to what it is you're actually going to be building, other than obviously what you've already built can't be it. Well, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you for the view. Please give it a share to everybody else to let them know what I'm doing, and I'll see you next time.